I'm here with Mark Bownas, Deputy Senior Partner. I'm here with Mark Bownas, Deputy Senior Partner of KPMG Hungary. Mark, tell us about KPMG's Hungary operations.
Well, I've been in Hungary for about 20 years now, Barbara, and when I came we'd 40 people. And within about the month I arrived, we doubled to 80 people, then to 160. And for the last few years we've had about 600 people in our office, covering audit, tax and advisory services. As many people know, the economic environment in Hungary is challenging. And so in order to maintain our staff numbers and our revenue base, we've had to look to export services. And there are a couple of ways we can do this. We have some teams that have specialist skills that can work outside of Hungary on international projects, but we're also looking at ways of bringing work into Hungary and delivering it from Hungary.
So how does the Indirect Tax Compliance Centre come into this? I understand it's a fairly new organisation.
Yes, we've had this group for 2 or 3 years now. It grew out of our traditional VAT compliance group. And what we've done is we've had clients who want to centralise their VAT compliance. They may have a number of European subsidiaries. They may want to have the returns prepared in one place, and that's the service that we can offer to people. We have some interesting technology that we use. We have clearly defined processes. And we've now got about 60 people working in this group, which is, from a standing start 3 years ago, is good going.
Fantastic. And are you seeing quite a bit of growth in this area?
We're seeing growth. We're looking at growing by 30 or 40% a year, which we believe is achievable. Clearly, tax professionals are quite conservative in the way we go about things, but we tend to hit our budgets. And theoretically, we could grow even quicker. We think there's demand out there, there's a lot of interest, but 30 or 40% a year is very manageable.
Significant. What are the core areas that you focus on? What are your services?
There's 3 things that we can approach this. The most straightforward is where a client will come and say, well, we'll outsource the whole of our VAT compliance to you. And then, although it's a fairly small process, you go through the same same approach as you take if you were outsourcing much larger processes. So there's an analysis, a review of the data, a transition period, maybe a parallel run, and then a go live. And this can take anything from 6 weeks to 6 months, depending on the complexity of the client and the data that needs to be transferred. We also, at the other end, imagine that you're a shared service centre, a captive shared service centre, and you're wanting to centralise the VAT compliance in your shared service centre. And then what we can do, since our technology is not proprietary, we use basically 3 packages that can be bought off the shelf. We can assist shared service centres in centralising their VAT, sharing the experience that we've gained by focusing on it, and enabling clients to benefit from that experience. And there's a project that we've been doing for one of the larger shared service centres in Budapest. The third approach is more of a hybrid. So you're a shared service centre who's already centralised your VAT, but you may want some assistance in either improving the process, or for one client, we run a sample of their VAT returns and the data through our systems periodically and enable them to see whether their shared service centre is actually producing the same information as we are.
Mm-hmm. So either pure outsourcing,
yes,
centralising VAT for a captive, or co-sourcing.
That's right, yes.
Excellent, thanks. Which areas do you think you might develop, Mark, as you sort of look forward? I imagine you're seeing quite a bit of demand for different types of support.
Yes.
How might you move forward?
Well, I think there's, again, we see continued growth in VAT compliance. I think what clients are also starting to demand is we're seeing requests for proposal that include both corporate tax and indirect tax. And the corporate tax is more difficult to centralise because it's more complex. The beauty of VAT is that the legislation is more or less standard across the EU, and therefore the process can be the same. Whereas with corporate tax it's a little bit more complex. But we're now exploring as KPMG on a global basis how we can centralise the preparation of tax returns. Clearly we'll make use of India because of the experience there and the labour arbitrage, but there will always be a need for a centre in Europe because of the language requirements.
What's the challenge in tax compliance generally? You know, what's the advantage, I suppose, of someone coming to you as opposed to them doing it themselves? Where are the main pressure points?
Well, I think if you're looking at centralising your VAT, you may have either one, and you're a medium-sized group, or you've got medium-sized. You may be a large multinational, but you've got relatively medium-sized operations in a number of different countries. Then you may have one or half a full-time equivalent focusing on VAT. The question, if you want to centralise it, then you may only be looking at saving 10 jobs, and the effort to do that can be. It's difficult to make a case for an investment case. Clearly, if the data is in good shape, we can do this in a cost-effective way. So we can help clients reduce their compliance cost, and also improve the quality of the returns, because our people are doing nothing else other than the VAT. It's the traditional argument as to why you'd outsource anything.
Yeah.
Also, the rules are changing. The tax authorities are becoming more aggressive because of the fiscal deficits. They're needing to collect as much tax as possible, and therefore it's important that the process is effective, robust, and transparent. And we also, the materials that we prepare, the data for the client includes a full audit trail of how the return has been put together, and that's something that can be lacking. People don't often focus as much on VAT because it's not a P&L item. It's a cash flow item, but not a P&L item. But you can soon get into difficulties, particularly if you've got large reclaims and you don't have the documentation to back it up, because the governments, the tax authorities, are going to do what they can to delay the repayment of the VAT if you're reclaiming it.
Yeah, and cash flow is just more important than ever these days.
Cash flow is more important than ever, and increasingly finance directors, CFOs are being measured on cash flow, rather than just a focus on EBIT or EBITDA.
It's certainly what we see. Mark, we wish you well. Thank you for stopping by and talking with me.
You're welcome. Thank you.